Hold on, guys. I am making a post here, and then we will get this started. And just got to take care of my social media-ing real quick. Real quick. You know what I mean? So what's up, guys? 1 second. All right. Bam. What do you guys think? Can you see it? Anyways, this is my dyslexic life, and it's not just about being dyslexic. It's about life in general. I have had a very interesting life and been very, 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 very blessed to survive parts of it and to get through parts of it and to learn from parts of it and to get to where I am today. And I want to share that with you because I want to inspire people to keep going, to keep pushing, and to follow their dreams and to make things happen. And no matter who tells you you can't do it, you keep doing it, whatever it is. So let me get my earphones on. Let me get set here. Wow, big difference. Now I can hear myself. So let's go ahead and get this started. My dyslexic life. Here goes, guys. Here's the deal. Please subscribe. I release things whenever I can get them out. I do it often, and I don't want you guys to miss anything. I want you guys to be a part of this. I want you to comment. I want to be able to talk to you. I want to be able to go back and forth. I want to engage. Maximum engagement. That is my goal. And, this is the deal. This came from COVID, born from COVID, right? This idea. It's evolved now into video, into YouTube. We're excited about that. Extremely excited. Just feel really blessed, man. Blessed to be here with you guys and do this. And we really want to maximize this. So please, please, please subscribe so that we can. And so that we can grow this together, right? So last episode, I was kind of talking about when I figured out why I was having so many problems in school and why I wasn't able to learn things that seemed so easy to everyone else, right? And it was because I was dyslexic, right? And that's something that is a life sentence. Once you find out you're dyslexic, you're born dyslexic, you're dyslexic your whole life. It doesn't get easier. So it wasn't like, oh, I was dyslexic when I was a kid. No, you're still dyslexic today, right? Now you've learned to adapt. You learn to do things. You learn how to get around things. You learn how to figure it out. Whatever that is, you put yourself in a place in life where you can manage those things better. But when you're a kid, it's hard to do that because to get to the next levels of life, to learn the next things, to move forward in a way that's socially acceptable, you're not doing it yourself. You're not creating your own situations. What you're doing it, right? You're not getting the job that works best for you or creating the business that works best for you, right? Or hiring the right people to put around you so that you can, that's what I do. I put the right people around me so I can move forward with these issues, and they help me take care of the problems that I have, the shortcomings that I have. And in turn, I try to make sure that I am creative, strong, and hardworking so that I can make sure that we are creating enough income so that everybody can be taken care of. That's how it works, right? So it's reciprocating, right? But when you're in school, when you're a kid, you got to follow the line, right? There are not multiple trails or even the ability to go off trail. You get in a single file line and you got to go one by one down this line. And if you don't fit, you're going to stick out. And when you stick out, things are tough. You're not as accepted by the other kids. Teachers have an issue with you. Family members have an issue with you. They know about it. They're stressed. Oh, he's just not doing good in school. He must be lazy. You're called lazy. I was never a lazy kid, but I thought I was because I was told I was. And so I fell for it. And so I thought I was a lazy kid. I was like, God, it sucks. I'm lazy. I'm a lazy person. All while going to school, going to tutoring, singing practices, recording studios, performances, all of those things. So I keep talking about music, and it was a huge part of my life, right? And so I want to tell you guys a little bit of how I got to that and got into that. Excuse me. I think we just got a, yes, we did. Just get a subscriber. I want to thank them real quick. Man, technology is awesome, right? Man, I remember text messaging like in the beginning. I couldn't spell anything. People would everyone would tease me. I had friends, great friends, that I loved then, love today, including my brother. Would send me my text message back, but with everything spelt correctly. Or the word that I spelt wrong, they would fix that. They would spell it back to me, just so I'd know that I couldn't spell. I think I knew. I figured out I was dyslexic in the first grade. Uh, so so anyways, yeah, that was that. So and thanks a lot, guys, for the correction of the spelling on those words. I appreciate that very much. Love you guys for that, making me feel like I didn't have it together at all. But hey, it was what it was. It's something I've lived with, right? So, but music, that was a different thing, right? When I was a little kid, my grandfather would sing beautifully, right? And he sang a song called Kukurukuku. And so there was a chorus in the song, and it went something like Kukurukuku, Kukurukuku, Kukurukuku. Paloma ya no le llores. Just a little simple part right there, right? And so I was a little baby, and I'd say, coo, 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 along with him. And so my grandfather would be like, hey, I think this kid wants to sing. Tell my grandmother. My grandmother would be like, yeah, he might. He might. Yeah, it seems interesting. So I'd do that. So he would get me and he'd carry me. And you have the microphone there, and we sing it together, right? Cuckoo. I'd sing with him. And so there was a performer. His name was Pedrito Fernandez. He was a little bit older than me, from Mexico, a few years older than me. And so he was already famous, and he had a movie called La Mochila Azul, right? And so he had a song about La Mochila Azul, and it was said, La de la mochila azul, sus viejitos dormilones. And so it talks about this girl, the girl with the blue backpack, and that her viejitos, her parents, were asleep, and there was this fire, right? And so the fire took her and them and killed them all, and he was left with a broken heart for La de la Mochila Azul, right? So they'd ask him, ¿Qué te pasa, chiquillo? ¿Qué te pasa? Me dicen en escuela, me preguntan en mi casa. Y hasta ahora que supe de repente, right? And so it means, what happened? Like, what's going on with you? They'd ask him at home, they'd ask him at school, and he's now figured it out that it was La de la Mochila Azul, it was her. And she's gone now, and he's brokenhearted. So they had a whole movie about it, everything. I mean, he was like one of the first multimedia moguls as far as I was concerned. And I thought I was a fan. So my grandfather bought me the record. So when my grandmother opened that restaurant that I was telling you about, the first one that she opened with no money, there was a record player there behind the bar, and I'd put that record player on, and I would sing that song along with him. So I was honing my skill, just being a kid, enjoying the music, right? And I sing it with him. Well, I got used to an audience real quick because people were there. There was customers there, and they'd hear me doing it, but I didn't think anything of it. I was just doing my thing, and they actually enjoyed it. And so it was like I was doing a show without knowing I was doing a show. So thank you, Pedro, who is now Pedro Fernandez, and he's great singer. So I was doing that, and my grandfather started to teach me songs, right? So he taught me The Gambler, right, sung in English, right? And so you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run, and you never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Right? So I sing that song with him, sang Cucurucucu with him, sing De Colores with him, right? And he started teaching me these songs, and I was singing with him. I went from him holding me to me standing on top of a chair with my own mic, and we were the same height, and I'd sing with him, right? And so I had done some performances, and the mayor of Santa Fe, Louis Montaño, had seen that, and he loved it. And he loved me. I knew Louis well. And so he called up my grandfather and said, look, there's a producer coming from Mexico. He's bringing his family, and they're going to perform at the Boys Club. We're doing a big show there. And Louis Montaño, the Boys and Girls Club, was a big deal for him. He made sure that we had a nice place for kids to go in Santa Fe. So I went to the show, and the kids were awesome, man. They were awesome. There was one that was about my age, I thought. He was actually 2 years older, but he was smaller. I was a big kid. And then there was his brother and his sister, and then his other brother, and then the oldest brother. And their dad, Antonio Avila, he was their producer, and they performed. And it was amazing. And then after they performed, I performed. And I went up there and I did with my grandfather some songs. And so Antonio came to my grandfather after the shows were done, and he said, listen, I heard him sing. He's very talented, and I know I can do something with him. But do you think that there are other kids in Santa Fe that could do the same? My grandfather said, well, there obviously could be. And he said, I think there are. And I think we could start a group. And so we did, and the group was called Niños Cantores de Santa Fe, Singing Children of Santa Fe. And so that summer, Antonio came with his kids. They stayed with us in our home. And it was his kids and myself. And I had made really good friends with them. And actually, at first, they stayed at the Boys Club. They lived in the Boys Club, which I was super jealous of because there was a trampoline in there, pool tables, basketball courts, video games. And these kids lived there. So I had become friends with them, and I'd get to spend the night. And we started making music. He started teaching us. And we started performing place to place. And we do a lot of the local things. We would do the fiestas. Like we would go to Taos and do the fiestas. We go to Española and do the fiestas. Go to Santa Fe and do the fiestas. Go to Las Vegas and do the fiestas. So we were, doing different things. And eventually we were doing the state fair, and it was growing, right? And so then they decided to change the name of the group and bring on some other people and create a board, right? So at that point we became Juventud de Santa Fe, which means youth of Santa Fe. And I think Niños Cantores was for like younger kids, but Juventud was just youth. So now they could have teenagers and there could be some older kids involved. And so that was that, man. I had started my career in singing under Antonio, who was producing, and it was hard. Like Antonio expected a lot from me, a ton from me, and I was young. So he had talked to my grandmother and said, hey, I want him to stay after practice because I want to work on things with him because I know that we can take him even farther. And he would have me lead a lot. He would have me hit a lot of solos. I mean, I carried a big weight in the group. And so we'd have to work on all of those things. And so I would stay after. So now think about it. I'm going to school full time. I have to go to my tutoring with my reading specialist. Plus I'm doing practice. Plus I'm staying after practice and still working. I would get so tired. And he would get mad at me and he would say, flojo, burro, lazy and stupid, right? Like, again, thank you, man. I'm doing all this stuff. And he'd get mad and he'd give me coscorrones on top of the head, which means he'd make this knuckle just like this. And he'd go right on top of my head when I get in trouble or if I didn't do exactly what he wanted, the way I wanted to do it. So Antonio and I, although I love him, we had a hate-love or love-hate relationship because that dude was hard on me. And I'm sure I frustrated him a lot too. But we were doing something amazing. And I didn't even know it. I was just a kid, man. I I was just doing what I was told, and I was singing. I get on stage and sing all the time, you know. Just one time, it's super funny. It's a cool story, though. We go and we do this show, and it's packed. We had a packed crowd. We're all singing. The stage was small, right? It was like 4 feet wide. It was long, but it was not that wide. So all of us were kind of narrowly placed, and there wasn't a ton of room. But I had to go do a solo. So we're singing, and it's time for me to do this solo. So I make a few little steps. And then I'm kind of squeezing by people, and they're playing their guitars, you know, bum, 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 bum. And I'm trying to get to where I need to get by the time I need to do my solo. And so I'm walking. And I get there, and I grab the mic, and I'm like, all right, cool, I made it. Because it was a tight walk. It's like walking on a tightrope. And I grab the microphone, and I start to sing my solo. And as I'm singing my solo, I take a little step forward, and my foot slips, and I slip right off the stage. Now I have the mic in hand. It's not in the stand anymore. And when I fall, I go straight down, and I land on my feet. I don't fall. I'm like, thump. And now I'm looking at the crowd, and I'm looking at them eye to eye. And I kind of look around, and I just keep singing. Didn't stop. And as I'm singing my solo, I walk over, and the chord was long enough, and I go to the stairs, and I walk right back on the stage, and I'm still singing my solo, and I walk across the stage, and I'm still singing my solo, and right as my solo ends, I throw it in the mic stand, and I walk right back to my place, I get in line, and I keep singing. I didn't miss a beat. Everyone in the group, they're trying not to laugh, man. I know Antonio's pissed. I can look at him, and he's just like, but he's laughing at the same time. And of course, like, burro, flojo, this and that, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, oh, I'm going to be in so much trouble. And the kids are trying not to laugh as they're singing, and I'm trying not to laugh as I'm singing. And the crowd has no idea what happened. Like, did he fall? Did he not fall? Is he okay? Is he not okay? Anyways, we end up finishing the show, and I'm like, God, I know I'm going to hear it. I know I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to get a coscorron on the top of the head. It was terrible. Antonio walks up to me. Chacho, good job. I look at him like, good job. You didn't stop singing? You didn't stop the show? Good job. And he walks off. And those are the kind of compliments you got. Like, it wasn't a huge amount of praise. Good job, that was a lot. That was huge. Felt so good about myself, man. It's a whole different world. I couldn't get a good job in school to save my life. Not even close. But I was good at music. It was hard. He was hard. But he taught me a lot. And that man was something else. And that's how I started my music career. So now that was it, man. Like, first, second grade, like, I was a baby, but I was doing these things. I was already moving through life and figuring things out. Like, my parents were still a mess. My grandmother was holding it down. My grandfather was doing his thing, part-time activist, part-time politician, you know, taking care of the state, taking care of us. My parents were a mess. Like I said, like, didn't really have any friends. My little brother was a baby. And I felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders, but didn't really realize it. I look back now, and I'm like, wow, I was doing a lot. That was my life at that point, you know. Great life. I mean, who can sit back and tell you a story like that? Like, I was so blessed. I really was. Pedro Fernandez, thank you for a record for me to sing. My grandmother, thank you for having a restaurant where I could do it. And my grandfather for taking the time and having the patience to teach me. Antonio for coming from Mexico to the U.S. and starting the group. And then taking the extra time to work with me, even though I didn't want it. Man, I did not want to stay after. But all of those things came together to give me those opportunities. I was lucky. And I am lucky. It's a great thing. And that was that, man. That was like the beginning of my elementary times of life, elementary school, right? The beginning of all that. It was not easy, but it was definitely unique, and it was all a blessing at the same time. So anyways, my dyslexic life, and this is the story. This is what it is. And these are authentic. You can't fake this. Like, this is the real thing. And so if you look at a lot of the things that I've been through, you know you can get through anything. Like, you really can. And and you can do anything. So follow your dreams, man. Make things come true. I am doing this not only to help dyslexic kids, dyslexic parents of kids, grown-ups that are dyslexic, whatever, anyone who's been dealing with that, or any other thing that has held you back or made things a little harder, push through. I'm doing this for everybody. I'm talking about it. I want to inspire. I want you to take risks, do your thing, live your life. Do not hesitate to be happy, whatever it takes. And just know, like, leave me a comment, ask me a question. I'm here. And that's it, man. My dyslexic life. Please, please, please subscribe. Get involved. Be a part of it. We're going to grow this thing. We'll grow it together. And, man, everybody just have an amazing life, an amazing time. Thank you.